Welcome to the virtual community open house for the City of Sacramento's I-5 Richards Boulevard Interchange project. The city is undertaking a preliminary engineering and environmental study to determine motorist, bicycle, and pedestrian improvements to the Richards Boulevard I-5 interchange. Operation of the interchange is currently deficient as indicated by traffic congestion on I-5 and Richards Boulevard during peak commute hours. Worse congestion is inevitable as future development occurs in the area unless improvements are made to the transportation system. The project will address long-term solutions including improvements related to congestion and accommodations for future traffic volume as the region continues to grow. Within this virtual open house, you will learn about the project background, including the study area, why improvements are needed, and future projections for housing and jobs in the area. Following the background, you will learn about 4 alternatives the project team is considering, bicycle and pedestrian connections, and comparison of the project alternatives. At the end of the presentation, you will be able to leave questions or comments about the project. The interchange was last studied by the City of Sacramento in 2010, which resulted in the widening of Richards Boulevard, improvements to the interchange off-ramps, and reconstruction of portions of Jaboom Street and Bercut Drive. These improvements provided interim traffic relief, but were never intended to accommodate the future development of the River District and rail yards. The city is now preparing an environmental document to further study the interchange and identify a preferred long-term solution for current and future congestion. The rail yards, home to the future Kaiser Permanente Medical Center and Sacramento Republic Sports Stadium, will bring in new development and an increase in the number of people who travel by car, bike, or walk to the area. The River District redevelopment, including the state's Richards Boulevard office complex, combined with the rail yards, will add numerous residents and businesses, resulting in a substantial increase in traffic to the area. The project team has been forecasting and analyzing how much traffic will be moving through the interchange area over the next 20 years considering these future developments. Improvements are needed to address the anticipated growth in jobs and housing and the expected increase in traffic congestion and delay. Bicycle and pedestrian access through the interchange area needs to be more connected with improvements that reduce the risk of collisions and injuries for bicyclists, pedestrians, and motorists. With anticipated development, jobs and housing units are projected to grow exponentially in the area. This will increase traffic and congestion for motorists and require improved connections for bicyclists and pedestrians. More than 25,000 additional housing units and jobs are expected in the rail yards, River District, and Central City planning areas by 2047. The purpose of this project is to provide long-term operational and circulation improvements to address existing congestion and accommodate future traffic volumes. The interchange will be designed to accommodate a 20-year traffic forecast from the year it is completed. For reference, this graphic is depicting travel times in 2019 in and around the interchange. During the afternoon commute, the average travel time within just the interchange area is already more than 4 minutes. Looking forward into 2047, this graphic illustrates travel times in and around the interchange if no improvements are made. In the afternoon commute hour, average travel time is projected to increase to more than 18 minutes in just the interchange area. In the spring of 2019, the city began reaching out to adjacent property owners and key stakeholders to discuss their current transportation needs and issues in the project area. After evaluating all of their input, the project team developed 4 alternatives that address the project objectives. 3 of the 4 alternatives are variations on a type of interchange referred to as a Diverging Diamond Interchange. The Diverging Diamond Interchange, or DDI, is an alternative to conventional interchange forms. The primary difference between a DDI and a conventional diamond interchange is the design of directional crossovers between signals. This eliminates the need for left-turning vehicles to cross the paths of approaching through vehicles. By shifting Richards Boulevard traffic to the left side of the street between the signalized crossover intersections, vehicles on Richards Boulevard making a left turn onto or off of I-5 ramps do not conflict with vehicles approaching from other directions. The traffic flow for a DDI at Richards Boulevard is illustrated in this video. Additional videos of actual diverging diamond interchanges and how they operate are available on the project's website. Alternative 1 is a diverging diamond interchange. It includes 3 important changes from the existing interchange that improve traffic operations. First, this alternative reduces the number of signalized intersections from 3 to 2. Second, the traffic signals will have only 2 phases, increasing the green time. And third, this alternative provides an additional path to access the I-5 southbound on-ramp. Fundamental to the DDI concept is that traffic crosses over to the opposite side of the street between the intersections at the freeway ramps. For example, vehicles heading westbound on Richards Boulevard to access the I-5 southbound on-ramp would cross to the left or south side of Richards Boulevard, continuing through the underpass, and make a left turn onto the I-5 southbound on-ramp. Similarly, traffic heading eastbound from Jaboom Street to access the I-5 northbound ramp would cross over to the left, or north, side of Richards Boulevard, continue through the underpass, and make a left turn onto the I-5 northbound on-ramp. In addition to the DDI configuration, Alternative 1 includes an extension of Bannon Street from its current intersection with Bercut Drive, under the I-5 northbound off-ramp, through a new underpass of I-5, ultimately merging with the I-5 southbound on-ramp. This allows traffic to access southbound I-5 from Bannon Street and avoid having to travel on Richards Boulevard. Alternative 1A is identical to Alternative 1 with one exception. The Bannon Street extension continues through a new underpass of I-5, but rather than merging with the I-5 southbound on-ramp, continues under that ramp and forms a new signalized intersection at Jaboom Street. Traffic on the Bannon Street extension is two-way traffic. This allows westbound vehicles on Bannon Street to avoid using westbound Richards Boulevard while still accessing both the I-5 southbound and northbound ramps from Jaboom Street. Bicycles and pedestrians can use the Bannon Street extension to travel through the interchange to Jaboom Street without having to cross the on-ramps and off-ramps along Richards Boulevard. Alternative 2 is the only alternative that is not a DDI. Alternative 2 includes a new I-5 northbound on-ramp that begins on Bercut Drive at the intersection with Summit Tunnel Avenue at the northwest corner of the rail yards. The new northbound on-ramp merges with I-5 prior to Richards Boulevard. The I-5 northbound off-ramp is realigned to exit I-5 and merge directly into eastbound Bannon Street. Bercut Drive is grade separated beneath the Bannon Street extension and intersects with Richards Boulevard. The Bannon Street extension is similar to Alternative 1, forming a new underpass of I-5 and merging onto the I-5 southbound on-ramp. Alternative 3 is a DDI that combines Alternative 1 with a new I-5 northbound on-ramp similar to Alternative 2. The new I-5 northbound on-ramp begins on Bercut Drive at the intersection with Summit Tunnel Avenue and merges with I-5 prior to Richards Boulevard. The I-5 northbound off-ramp is realigned to grade separate beneath the Bannon Street extension and continues to an intersection at Richards Boulevard. The at-grade intersection of Bercut Drive and Bannon Street is signalized. Bicycle travel through the existing interchange is suitable for only the most experienced bicycle rider. Improvements to the interchange, and/or alternative bicycle routes, are needed to provide bicycle riders a safe, comfortable, and continuous path through or around the interchange. Pedestrians currently travel through the interchange on sidewalks, crossing local streets, on-ramps, and off-ramps at signalized intersections. As shown on the illustration, the DDI alternatives include improvements to pedestrian walkway and bike lanes on local streets adjacent to the interchange and through the interchange. The median that separates the two directions of traffic between the crossovers provide a center walkway for pedestrians, as well as for bicyclists who don't wish to ride with traffic. The reduced number of signal phases for DDI traffic signals allow more green time, making it easier for pedestrians to cross. Also, pedestrians' crossing distances are shortened to only cross one direction of traffic at a time. The reduced crossing distances can also benefit bicyclists by reducing exposure time within the intersection and minimizing the chance for vehicular conflicts. The DDI alternatives include bicycle lanes through the crossovers, providing dedicated right-of-way for bicyclists. All alternatives include a new bicycle and pedestrian path from Bercut Drive to the Two Rivers Trail. This allows bicycles and pedestrians to travel under I-5 and access Jaboom Street and the Sacramento River bike path without having to travel on Richards Boulevard through the interchange. One of the objectives of the project is to improve safety for all modes of travel, including bicycling and walking, in the interchange area. As shown on this graphic, during the 5-year period from 2014 to 2018, a number of injury collisions involving motorists, bicycles, or pedestrians occurred on local streets in the project area. The project alternatives are designed to reduce the risk of collision on these roadways, consistent with the city's Vision Zero goal to eliminate traffic fatalities and serious injuries by 2027. The DDI design has shown to significantly reduce the number of vehicle-to-vehicle conflict points compared to a conventional diamond interchange. The DDI also reduces the severity of conflicts, as conflicts between left-turning movements and the opposing through movement are eliminated. All 4 alternatives have been qualitatively compared, but the selection of a preferred project alternative is pending the outcome of the environmental process. Conceptual level cost estimates for the alternatives considered range from $46 million to $100 million. The project is currently funded through the design of the interchange with Regional Surface Transportation and Measure A funding, and will require compliance with both the National Environmental Policy Act, or NEPA, and the California Environmental Quality Act, or CEQA. This table shows a summary of the qualitative evaluation of each alternative. Several criteria were considered in this relative comparison of the alternatives, including traffic performance such as congestion, travel delay, and queue lengths, bicycle and pedestrian access, safety, property impacts, estimated cost, and the estimated benefit to cost ratio. Alternative 1 has the lowest cost and highest benefit to cost ratio, and is second best at reducing congestion and travel delay. Alternative 3 has the second highest benefit to cost ratio and performed the best at reducing congestion, travel delay, and queuing. Both alternatives 1 and 3 were relatively better in terms of safety than the other 2 alternatives. Alternatives 1 and 3 will be carried forward for additional preliminary engineering and environmental evaluation. Thank you for participating in this virtual open house. Please fill out the comment form below with any questions about the project, the alternatives, or bicycle and pedestrian connections. No questions? Feel free to leave a comment and your email to receive future project updates. Thanks again for joining us.